Hello, everybody. My name is Dan, and this is my series of practicing English every day. And today, before I read this book, I'll tell you my story. 2 days. Yesterday, I returned. I went back my hometown, and I'm stayed in my grandmother house, and I went to a birthday party of my friends who was study with me in high school, and then today I went back to Ho Chi Minh City at about around 5 to repair online class, and now I'm stay here to practice English because my target is to finish this book in this month, and I got 8 days left, so I have to rest. So today I'll reread again some topic and read new topic. A wedding. I was looking at our wedding photos yesterday, and all these memories came flooding back. Olive and I agreed to get married in the summer of 180, but I had a difficult time trying to pin him down to a wedding date. Eventually, we settled on July 1st and started to plan for the big day. Secretly, I wanted a big wedding, but our families have very little money, so we settled for a simple ceremony with just family and close friends. And we had to do with our honeymoon. Dad treated everyone to lunch at a local hotel, and Oliver's friend Dan suggested that had a disco in the garden at home afterwards. I did wonder what would happen if it rained, but went along with it. And in the event, it was a glorious warm evening, and everything went up without a hitch. During the meal, Oliver got up and made a lovely speech. It reduced me to tears, but it was the best day of my life. We drank a toast to a long, happy marriage, and that is what we had had. I wouldn't swap places with anyone. Sweet. Rock concerts. How was that rock concert you went to? More. Brilliant. The warm-up band went down really well. So by the time Coldplay came on, the atmosphere was electric, and we knew we were in for a great night. Chris Martin was superb, and the band backed him up really well. We were all singing a long, wonderful night. I couldn't have enjoyed myself more. Ari, everyone went crazy when Sting's entry was announced, but we all got a bit restless when the band spent long testing out the equipment. People started whistling and calling out, but after a couple of songs, they won the crowd over the quality of the performance. Lolia, strange experience. Being at a big concert, it certainly was the last one I went to. You're packed in like shadows, and the noise is deafening. Everybody screaming their heads up. Then suddenly the crowd start pushing to get nearer the stage, and you're fighting for the breath. Sometimes people pass out in the crush. It's awful, but you live in the moment, and it's the most exciting thing you can imagine. The nasty row. The song started quite quietly. I was standing at the bus stop. A woman behind me was giving her daughter telling of being lazy. The girl tried to laugh it off, but the mother was just went on and on about the girl took her mother for granted and never lifted a finger around the house. Finally, the daughter just exploded. She started shouting at her mother. For one awful moment, I thought she was going for her, so I decided to step in. Wow, what a mistake that was! Both women immediately turned on me. The mother told me to mind my own business, and the daughter just shouted, "Clear off!" By this stage, quite a few people were looking on and was hoping one of them would back me up. But no one did. I just walked away further down the road and looked back, and they are still having a go at each other. Having a go at each other, that means attack or criticize somebody. Riots, dramatic events, riots, London riots. There had been unrest leading up to the riots in London in August 2011. The found police shooting of 29-year-old Mark Duncan sparked off protests, and violence broke out when 120 people marched on Tottenham police station. Cars were set on fire, shops were looted, and the man who was trying to film the events were beaten up by rioters. The following day, the trouble spilled over into the districts, and on Monday, gangs of youth wreaked havoc in many parts of the capital, burning down buildings and looting from shops. It was thought that gang leaders were able to organize the riots using the mobile phones. Initially, police came under fire for slow response to the events, but by Tuesday morning, they were on the street in force, and the trouble had died down. The wake of the violence, the Prime Minister promised that no one could get away with robbery, burglary, and followed eyewitness reports and examination of the CCTV footage. The police arrested over 2,000 people. There's a lot of word that looting, you stealing something. Lead up to, that's it. If a problem or series of action lead up to an important event, they come before it or cause it. This is the reason to cause something. Leading up to. Spark of something, that means cause something to start or develop, especially suddenly. Spill over, that means increase and then affect other areas. Wreak havoc, that means cause very great harm or damage. Anything come under fire, that means attacked or criticized. Storms and flooding follow glare force winds that battered homes at the weekend. People along the east coast are now having to deal with widespread flooding after 80 millimeters of rain fell in less than 24 hours. Some residents have been driven out of their homes, and the village of Cashford was almost cut off after the bridge over the River Thames was swept away. Despite warnings, some residents were still caught unawares and are only now coming to terms with the scale of the devastation. It's already the worst in living memory, said one homeowner. Water came in during the night, and the ground floor is now completely flooded, and there could be the worst to come. Forecasters say the area will have to contend with more downpours this evening. So many homes are still at risk from flooding. It is thought the rain may not ease up until late tomorrow. Fresher bring chaos. Deal with, that means take the action to do something, especially to solve the problem. Following clear force winds that buried homes at the weekend, people along the east coast are now having to deal with widespread flooding after 80 millimeters rain fell in less than 24 hours. Some residents have been driven out of their homes, dry out something, dry somebody out of something. That means make somebody go away or leave particular place. Be driven out of their homes, and the village of Cashford was almost shut off after the bridge over River Thames was swept away. And the next topic is a fight in a fish shop. I was standing in a queue in my local fish and chip shop last week when 4 teenage boys came in. One of them was full of himself and tried to show off his mates by pushing in up the front of the queue. He probably thought that nobody would challenge him, but he was mistaken. The man in front of me took exception to his behavior and told him to get to the back. The next thing I knew, a fight had broken out. One of the boys threw a punch, and the man momentarily lost his balance, and the other 3 boys jumped on him and tried to pin him down on the floor. The elder couple stood back and looked on the horror while ran the police. Fortunately, the man working in the fish and chip shop reacted very swiftly to the trouble. Perhaps he was used to it. Quick as a flash, he produced a fire extinguisher and turned it on the boys. It must come a quite shock to them, because the fight broke out almost immediately and the boys ran away. I'd rather lost a appetite. I rather lost my appetite by then, so I left. I heard later the man needed 2 stitches to his face. I don't know if they ever catch up with the boys responsible. So take exception to something. That means to be angry about something, object to it strongly. Break out, that means stop suddenly. Lose your balance, that means suddenly fall or almost fall. Work as a flash very quickly. Turn something on somebody, that means direct something such as water, hose, or guns at somebody or something. Break up, that means stop. Break out, that means start suddenly, and break up, that means stop. And the next topic is mountain rescue. When Carol Stephens and Cian Crane set off a day's hiking, the weather was fine by mid-morning. However, it was already closing in, and by lunchtime it was foggy. The rains were coming down, and it was difficult to see where they were going. They decided to stop back and try to figure out the best route, but they lost their bearings. In the confusion, Cian tripped on the edge of the mountainside and fell nearly 20 feet. She landed on the ledge but was unconscious. Carol immediately called down the mountain rescue team, who were on the spot within half an hour. But by this time, Cian had come to and was complaining of a terrible pain in her leg. The rescue crew were able to reach her, but had to call for a helicopter backup to get her off the ledge. She was rushed to hospital, where doctors attended to her leg, which were broken into places. Carol said it had dawned on them that they were taking a risk with the weather. One thing for sure, well, think twice about doing anything like this again, she said. And on the spot, that means the actual place where some things happened. Dawn on something, that means you understand it or realize it at all or for the first time. Backup, that means extra support that you can use if necessary. Come to, that means become And conceits again. And conceits again. Conceits again. Complain of something, that means they feel sick or are in some pain. The verbs are not to use the first person present tense. Complains. If somebody complains, yes, it not use the verb. Okay. And I think this is the end for today. Thank you for listening. Bye.